Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Monday evening connection. And thank you for, of course, Iran for hosting us and all of you to joining us here. And those of you on the Zoom and those of you listening to the recording later on. And we hear the feedbacks here and there. So please, uh, uh, you know, always give us feedback and always tell us what can we improve. And obviously, things that are not clear, we would love to help. This week, and again, we know we're in the midst, at least in the world right now, in times that obviously we never experienced, and it's almost impossible to believe that myself, I'm looking at myself, I'm not sure where everybody is from, but like that I'm alive in a reality like that, right? In things that's happening around us right now. And I don't need to elaborate because we can keep speaking about these things. But I wanna take us before we go into the details, go to the big picture because sometimes it's too much. It's too much to digest. It's almost it's impossible. Even when a person eats dinner, the dinner was swallowed. It takes the body 10 to 15 hours to not completely even digest it. Is it true to say? So even if I ate it, even I've experienced it, and people think, oh, you don't even know what we experienced. We don't even know what we went through. And still the body goes through, and who knows what type of, God forbid, allergies or effects have to this food, to what we ate or what we swallowed in a way, in trying to swallow uh, um, in this reality. So for that, in order to help us at least digest it in a better way, wisdom is the only way that can help us put things in the right perspective. Because we see there's enough people in the world right now that are off perspective, off. Doesn't matter what side you are, it's off. Yeah, but we are right. But no. Let's digest as a whole, as people first, as our individual way of experiencing it. Don't think about they and they. Let's understand that it's individually. Obviously, we started, as we spoke last week, about the process of Abraham. Abraham also went from a reality of judgment to a reality of mercy. Abraham is the father of all religion. Abraham is the father of Islam and Judaism and Christianity. That's where everything stems from. And by the way, many other religion practices came from Abraham. They had it, but until Abraham, they could not conceptualize that. You take, and again, it's been written in this portion, the next portion as well, of how Abraham shared all the wisdom that he got with all the nation. And he sends what you call sends gift. That's going to speak about it. But for now, to understand the big picture, this is the moment where we are today, what we're reading. It's important just to have content of what we're reading and then see how it relates to our life. In this week, Abraham, the Creator was revealed to him, and he told him that he lives in a reality of judgment. What is, again, I want to be clear about what a judgment mean and what mercy mean, right? Judgment is, maybe I'll give an example, okay? So imagine you give an invoice to a client of yours, right? You give them an invoice. Nice, you did the job, you did everything, you gave them an invoice. 20 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, they didn't pay you. You calling them and you start being a little bit more like, hey, give me the money. Yeah, play with you. Then you choosing what? To go to judgment, which means you go to a reality of lawyers and letters and court, right? And a judgment that will decree who and what and how much can owe and how much a person needs to pay. But he will pay with a court law, right? Does that make sense to everybody? So there is a reality that was play as it should. I did the work, I gave you invoice, you gotta pay, right? You don't know how, when, if I, no problem, speak up. But you don't say something and you 90 days pass, you didn't pay me. I take you to my division, the court division, right? Lawyers going on. What's right? Who is right when you go to judgment? When you go to the world of judgment, right? There's clear law, clear instruction, clear who needs to pay when, and if the judge rule in your favor, the person has to pay. If not, it goes to prison, and many other things happening. The same thing exists in this world. Abraham could live life in judgment. What does it mean? According to whatever the physical nature, like in nature. Anybody here is upset when they see a lion ripping apart a deer? Has anybody here go to the lion and says, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you crazy?" Right? Have you ever seen hyenas? I call them hyenas. Hyenas. Terrible, right? But this is the reality. Nobody is gonna agree. Like, hyenas, can you be a little bit more merciful with the rabbit, or with the tiger, or right? No. That's exactly how this world of judgment works. You have hyenas, you have beasts, you have this. If you live in this reality, and the Creator tell him, listen, it was revealed to him, Vayar elav Hashem, and the Creator was revealed to him. When? The Creator was revealed to him, Vayar elav Hashem be'elonem mamre. When did the Creator was shown to Abraham? When Abraham was in Mamre. What is Mamre? Again, it's a name of place, but it is also a connection to Jacob that will come from him. He showed it to him. But to our life, the immediate way of Mamre is like Hamra'ah, the word Hamra'ah, elevating. When you take off. You know, when you're on the runway, in the plane, you see exactly what everybody sees. But as soon as the plane takes off, you start seeing things that everybody in the world couldn't see until now, or in your city. Does that make sense to you? Right? So that's when the Creator started to reveal to Abraham, when he had and shown desire and action to elevate, right? Because right in that time, the Creator, the method that he had is to circumcise himself, right? When he was 90 years old, right? So obviously that's a very painful situation. That's exactly the day when the Creator revealed to him, when he was elevating. How can you be elevated when you go through tremendous pain after circumcision? Tell you again, there's a whole story about it, but for us, for our level, when do I see that the world of judgment is, most of us clearly now seeing that it's not worth it to go in war and fight. Now everybody sees the horrors that's happening in the world. And now everybody's like, oh, yeah, but yes, but there's like, shouldn't, right? We can stop it. Or everybody is like having own opinion, but we know clearly that war and killing and slaughtering people, it's not really good feeling to the world. Doesn't matter where you live. So right now we saw that the world of judgment cannot exist. We don't want to live in a reality like that, of judgment, of killing, of destruction, of horror. That's what Abraham was revealed now this week. And the Creator told him, listen, move to the reality of mercy. Meaning, there's another way to solve that issue. There's another way beside killing and judgment, right? Your lawyer can come to his to send him letter. You are in court in this and this date. If the person will call you, the client will call you and says, "Hey, listen, I apologize for the delay. I got in a very tight place. I can't really pay the bills. I have ta. Can you give me 30 more days?" What would you do? I don't see anyone in this world that won't give the individual 30 more days. You know what? Even if the other 30 days, he comes in there and listen, I need 20 more days. Yes, you're still going to do that. That's the reality of mercy, that you will open right away to do it. And Abraham is the only one who opened that reality to exist in our time today. That's what the reason, well, what I just shared with you an example, it's available is because Abraham opened that gate for us. And that is a gate that we all need to be using right now in our time. And again, let me be clear. What does it mean? First, the Creator cannot be revealed to us. The message cannot be revealed to us when we low. When you go low, it says, only when you time of your elevation, I will show you. When the Creator will show you what you need to hear, what you need to see. When you in the beginning, or you start to elevate yourself, that is when you start hearing different messages. That is when you start seeing situation in another level. Okay, start. That's the beginning. So first, you have to use your momentum to grow, to elevate, and that is where the message becomes stronger and stronger. We know also that Abraham was also after the circumcision, meaning in time of pain and suffering. Time of pain and suffering seems like so accurate to our week, to our time. This is no coincidence, but all the readings from the Torah, from the Bible, from the prophets, it's like freaky in a way. So accurate to our time, to what's going on in the world, and to each one of us messages. I mean, it's too crazy when that's why I'm saying I'm going to be as much as I can moderate with this, but there's so much depth that you cannot avoid. So Mamre is also the same numerical value as Rafeh, which is refuah, which is healing. So we know Abraham was in time of pain, was under circumcision and all of that. He's in the third day of the process, meaning that what is a spiritual elevation? It's healing. So when you're in a situation, let's say, for example, when you're in a tough situation or fight or dispute or argument or something, the way you heal from that is when you go above it. If you start trying to stay there and defeat it from below, it's impossible. I need to step up. I need to step out of this situation. I need to clear my mind, right? And that's what it means. You're healing. You feel stronger to deal with it later, right? So obviously, all of us, and again, even the first week or second week, even now, of course, but when you step out of the situation, not sucked into what's really going on, now you can heal yourself. That's the message we all want to get, is that the world needs enough healthy people, healthy consciousness. Not many people of central column. There's not many people who are really bringing that reality of central column. So we need to elevate ourselves so we can heal, and we can be a voice that can really calm down the people. Because what's happening is we need to calm down even with our energy as well. So that's a second level of what elevation can give us. And again, each one of us in their own way need to elevate, need to inspire themselves, needs to connect, needs to plug themselves. Then, few things that it's important for us to understand what is happening. You know, there's a story here that it says, "Va'elokim nisa et Avraham." The Creator tested Abraham. How many times? 10 exact tests. And each test was meant to elevate Abraham from one level to another and so forth. One of them is the Akedat Yitzchak, which is the binding of Isaac. The Creator gives him a message. You have to go and slaughter your child on the altar. Everybody known, it's a known story. And All cultures and religion took that story for themselves because it's very inspiring, but nobody understood that is nothing to do with the story. It's a message for all of us. Isaac, right, of course, is the left column, what we call in Kabbalah the desire to receive. Abraham is the right column, which is what is open, which call it the desire to share. Before we go into that, when did the Creator testing us? When does the Creator testing you? And how do I know it's a test? How do I know something I'm going through is a test? It's when I don't have consciousness. It's when I'm in falling. That's when you get tested. Not when you're up there. Not when you're so high and when you're so connected and I'm plugged in. Test me now. Let's see. No, you don't get the test. Over there, go freely. Everything is open for you. When you're down, when you don't want to do, when you don't want to connect, when you see everything is so terrible, and Kabbalistically we call it in katnut, when you're so small, that is when you get the test. That is when it appears to be, easy to stay down. When you feel that it's so easy for me to stay down, it's because it's a test. You should know. Every time you're down, you get tested. And when you test, when you're down, what you're going to feel, what you're going to think, what you're going to do, these are the three things that is been testing you in that time. So obviously, give you a few ideas here, but he says, when do we have, how does a test sounds like, right? How is it possible? Usually when you have the question, how is it possible? It's a test. When you have the question of like, who is going to do such a thing? It's a test. Or why there is traffic when I need to do this? Or why there is this? Or when the flight is canceled? All kind of things that we are losing consciousness, meaning we are too, what we call in Kabbalah, reactive about it. That is exactly when you get tested. So pay attention. Next time when you're down, most of us don't care anymore. No, this is when you can go down for the sake of going up. So this is the test. The test is not if you're going to do this or that, but it's really sometimes it's about how you feel and how you're going to react to it. So here, one of the things that we need to look for ourselves, what is it? Is the Akidat Yitzchak we spoke about, right? The binding of Isaac. What is binding of Isaac? Is it a child, a baby, is being on the altar and his father want to slaughter him? Imagine the picture. Anybody? Right? Obviously, that's not what happened. I want to remind you of some content. We're talking about Abraham. Around that time, he was 137 years old. And Isaac is 37 years old. We're not talking about a baby or kid. This is like 37 years old man. And his father needs to, again, 137-year-old man trying to sacrifice. And the picture that everybody have is an innocent baby sitting there, and then a father with the dagger. That's what the vision at least that I had when they show it to us growing up. Nobody told us that that's not the situation, because it was clearly Isaac was willingly and gladly doing it, and Abraham gladly, willingly doing this. What does it mean? It actually went to an altar and all of that? It's a test. It's a test until you get to the moment that it like seems like and feels like horrible. But the test is like we all been tested right now. But we seen the horror. What is the test? Yitzchak is what we call the desire to receive that we all have. Your desire to receive, how much do you want? in life, in a lifetime or in lifetimes, represented by Isaac. That's the name. It's a code name. It's not a person. Abraham is all your desire to influence. How much do you want to influence? That calls Abraham. That's a name. That's a code. According to the Zohar and Kabbalah, they never speaks about them as people, but as source, as conduit for us. So really, anytime we are influencing, anytime we want to influence, we're tapping into what we call the energy of Abraham. Anytime we are desiring greater and greater in this world, we tap into the energy of Isaac. So what is the idea of the binding? The binding is the idea of how much of us we will be able to bind, to strike, to tie it up our agenda with the receiving or with the giving. As simple as this. Let me give an example. I want so much more than everybody else. But for why? So I can share with everybody else. Most people, I want for me, 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 me. Everything we do in this world is for me, me, me. I want this, I want that, I want all of this me, me consciousness. It's Isaac before the binding, before the tying up the desire to receive, but for the self alone. That's the binding of Isaac. And the same thing for Abraham, same thing for mercy, same thing for sharing. Most of us sharing, helping, influencing, but we do want to know that the person say thank you. We do want to know that our name is written there, right? That is also in the sharing and in the receiving. It's always attached to what we call the for the self alone. I would give everything, but I know I'm gonna get something in return. No, that from a Kabbalistic point of view, our test is also there. So what is the binding of it? What is the big test? Is if these two channels will open the gate for an absolute receiving only for the sake of influence. That should be the consciousness. Isaac and Jacob and Isaac and Abraham almost like melted together, or unite together to bring the birth of what we call Jacob, which is central car. Every time you want to receive, make sure it's for the sake of sharing. Every time I share, make sure it's only for sharing and nothing for me. Then you bind what we call the judgment. Then it's all mercy. Then it's all love. Then it's all influencing positively. That's the idea here. And again, the beauty of all this process is what comes out of it. Again, this is another layer that is important for us. Abraham, sitting in the entrance of the tent, I wrote it actually. Vehu yoshev petach haoel. It's mentioning exactly why the holy book, why the holy story need to tell me all these details. He's sitting in the tent. Why? He tells me he sits in the entrance of his tent. Why? He can sit in the house. I didn't see anybody waiting for me over here in the entrance, right? They're in the house. I come, I knock on the door. Abraham, you here? Yeah. Open the door. I'm here. I'm coming to open the door. No. Abraham was waiting at the door. Nobody's in the middle of the desert, right? Nobody is there. And he sits. Petach haoel. What does it mean? It's a consciousness of what? How quickly are we to jump for assistance, to help, to welcome people? how quickly that the edge of your seat, how many of us are in the edge of our seat to do something for the world? I'm on the go, ready, let's do it, right? Like most of the people of the world will, maybe will jump to do something negative, maybe, but positive. Let me think. I'll see. What do I get in return? And all of that. That's Abraham was canceling that. Not just that. It mentioned it was in the third day after the circumcision, which is considered to be the toughest pain ever. And just to make sure to mention in the Torah that it was the hottest day of the year. So the Creator increased the temperature to make it hotter, because he says if it's too hot, nobody gonna walk around. So Abraham won't feel that he needs to go and host it. Everybody understand that? So it's the third day. It's the hottest day. And all of a sudden, you get a test. Three people showed up passing around his tent. He jumped. Vayaras likratam, and he ran towards them. He jumped from his seat and jumped from, bring them, please come in. Imagine the hottest day, he's in pain. Come, he's washing he washed their feet. Please comes in, wash their hands, put them drinks, tell his wife Sarah, bring almost like 3 kilo of a dough, make breads. You know how much bread for 3 people, right? How much is 3 kilo dough? I think it's a lot of bread, right? And then he tells the kid, go bring a cattle, go bring a slaughter, make a big feast. Imagine, right? It's 3 people. You overdo it, right? Over exaggerating. But no, it's all explanation, spiritual explanation, beautiful about us. So first is that the idea of the 3 people are not people, but he couldn't see them until he jumped to invite them. We know that from Abraham, he opened the gate for what we actually started doing on Monday night. I don't know if you know, but the reason I'm doing what I'm doing every Monday, I can do it easily in my office. I can do it at home. I don't need to go anywhere. But it's the opportunity for inviting guests. There's a ma'ala, there's an elevated consciousness. I will share with you as much as we can today of hosting people. And again, let's go through the idea of what is the gift of this and why is it important. First is Abraham, because he jumped to host them, to bring them and to welcome them. He saw that these are not people, these are angels. But if he wouldn't jump, he wouldn't see. So first, he saw that they are angels. So they gave him 3 messages, 3 angels. One is Michael, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, right? One announcing to him about the birth of a child that comes to him. One, Isaac. One is announcing him the war that coming to Sodom and Gomorrah, which is the destruction completely of Sodom. This is what happening this week, coincidentally, right? And the healing, the Raphael is the healing angel to healing from the circumcision. But these could not give him the messages and could not be with him if he was sitting there, listen, it's too hot today, I'm going to close my tent, put some AC, put something to drink, and I'm good, right? No, more than that. Abraham had a tent. And you know there's an entrance to the tent. Abraham had 4 different exits and entrances to the gate. He opened the gate, the tent from all directions, so he's not going to miss anybody in 360 walking around. That's the consciousness. Now, let's understand more of the consciousness of what he says to his wife, Sarah. Run, get me 3 kilos or whatever of dough, make bread and cakes and 3 people. I'm not sure you need much, but what is the code here? Now, again, nobody should get offended when we're mentioning women and men, male and female. Okay, the reason is from a Kabbalistic point of view. Okay, it speaks about that each one of us have male and female energy, and we need to know how to deal with that and how to use it to our advantage and to the world advantage. So again, when he speaks about in the Torah, it's never, again, that's the problem with religion, that they took it literally. And if you take literally what you just read right now, women is not in a good light. Women are not shown in a good light, and it's terrible when you read Kabbalah and you realize, wait a second, it's nothing to do with Sarah. It's something to do with my Sarah. Each one of us, have a Sarah within him, have Abraham within him. Again, what does it mean? It's a code. Male represent the right column. Female energy represent the vessel energy, which is the desire to receive. Every man and woman on earth have it. It's 2 different energies that we're dealing with. So now let's understand why he asked her to go in an exaggerating way of hosting or making food. Because again, that's actually technically happened before Sarah. Every woman was against hosting. Not against, but actually they call it cheap. Was very much who to invite and who to. By the way, I also find a lot of, people today also are meticulous who to invite, who to not, who to open the house for, and who to not. Don't we have it sometime? Now again, I'm not looking. I don't want to judge. God forbid. But I know sometimes we're like very selective, right? Was invited to this party, like who is coming? Oh, very select. Wait a second. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm inviting for a class, very select. Tell me who, right? You see? Now again, I'm not just this is I'm sure that's not where we are. But since Sarah opened the gate, that complete hosting beyond. Being a host is not physically, it's not a house, it's the heart. How much is your heart is stingy or is expensive? That's a host. And I tell you why, I'm going to tell you the code and that it speaks about. So first, as we see in this section, again, I can read for you. Sorry. Okay, I can't see it right now here. Okay. But anyway, when he says, Mari lushi ufot, ugot. Oh, yes. He says the Baal Shem Tov. Baal Shem Tov is one of the greatest Kabbalists that reveal the wisdom of Kabbalah. That he says it sounds like exaggerating, but it has to be sometimes an extreme sharing, an extreme going outside of your comfort zone, an extreme going outside of your belief system in order for you to extract or to draw revelations in your life. So let's understand why. Because our vessel is Sarah. Our vessel is called Sarah. It's a female energy, not woman. Please, I don't get confused, okay? I can show it to you. There's many women here. Do you have a desire to influence the world, yes or no? Anybody here? All of you. All of you. Where does it come from? From the male energy in you. It's not the man. Okay, please be clear. It's like the plus and minus in the electricity. It's related to a male and female. So now, when we're speaking about Abraham inviting guests, it says that a guest in Hebrew, what do you call a guest? Oreach. Oreach. If you hear or, what? It's the or is light, or what we call the letter chet. The letter chet is the 8th letter in the spectrum of the 22 letters. Okay? The 8th is the letter chet, which represent, even if you go from the tree of life, right? It's called the energy of Bina, the energy of Shabbat, right? That's why in Shabbat we feel like more, spacious. Usually in Shabbat you're inviting people, right? That's what we learn, right? Why? Because this is the only way you can bring the light of Bina. What is the light of Bina? They call it Olam Haba, the next phase, the next world to come. Have you heard about the next world to come? Have you heard about the world to come? Have you ever, in terms of religion, in terms of spirituality, it speaks about the world to come, the world that's coming. So they speaks about, in a way, when a person die and leave the world, he went to Olam Haba, right? The next world. They went to the other world, or the next to a better reality. Let me share with you. Olam Haba, for those of you who speak Hebrew, know it's the world that's coming. Haba. It's not the next world. It's the world that's coming to us. What is a guest? If you're inviting negative guests to your house, right? Very bad people to your house. Chances are that your house will be filled with some negativity, some evil talk will stick to the walls, to your couches, right? That's naturally going to happen. So it's important not just to host, right? And otherwise, anybody can go into New York. There is next to this hotel, whatever. There's many homelesses. Bring them home, right? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about inviting guests for the sake of elevating them and elevating the space. That's important. If you invite conversation like that to your house, what type of residue of energy remains or you receive as a host? Anything that you reveal, the host must have it and remain. And again, that's why our interest is to bring people all the time, because this is our interest, our call it agenda, right? Maybe it sounds like a negative word, but it's actually such an elevated word when we're speaking about hosting, opening our heart to host, not just simply, yeah, come, man, but please don't eat too many crackers, just a little bit, No, host. You open your house. You don't open your house. You open your heart. This is what's happening right now, and a part of what's happening around the world. And again, in our circle in New York, I would suggest to do it, but not for the sake of bringing people that wants to bring you down or the energy down. What does it mean? This is bad and this is horrible and this is it. No, should conversation in a different level. We spoke last week that Abraham opened the conversation with the Creator like we need to open it. For conversation on a positive level. It's not a problem to learn from a negative experience, but should be the positive direction and elevating. So again, that's why Abraham was running towards them, because it's not comfortable for me. I'm in pain, but this is the time to jump, to do actions of sharing. And that's how he revealed those angels and those messages that comes to you. One more thing, and I said I'll share with you, there's many, many points, but it's such an important, each one of them. I feel bad and I'm apologizing to the Baal Shem Tov that I'm cutting it like to a one-liner almost. In this week, There is a horrible experience that happened. Horrible. Now, if I'll tell you this, it's in our Torah, it's in the written. You will say, this is crazy. So, long story short, the brother-in-law, or the cousin, whatever, of Lot, his name is Lot. I think it's Ben Achi. I think it's the cousin or the uncle, whatever. His name is Lot. Lot. And Abraham, he always liked to do whatever Abraham did. Everything was a copy. He would like to copy everything Abraham did. Again, long story short, there's another a different story there. He had daughters, and the daughters didn't have children, and they couldn't find someone to marry. And they come to an age. Again, I'm telling you the literal story, right? And they say, "What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" And right around that time, it's imagine it's the time that they live. I don't know if you know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know that story? Again, there's many things, horrible thing. And again, I'm going to share with you the next thing. But first about that story. So the daughters of Lot says, what are we going to do? We don't have kids. We don't have this. We are already getting old. We didn't save our eggs, froze them. So what are we going to do? He said, let's get our father drunk, and we get him, right? That's what they did. The first night, the older girl. The second night, the younger girl. Now, this is what we're reading, right? This is like, oh, wait. That's disgusting, right? You know who is the child? His name is Moab. Moab, that's his name. The child who gave birth to the daughter of Lot. And you know who came from Moab? Ruth. You know who came from Ruth? King David. You know who is King David bringing? Mashiach, Messiah. That's the lineage. They say he's going to come from that lineage. Now think how crazy it is. But I'm telling you something important now. It's not a mistake. The most horrible, dark moment have the potential to reveal the most elevated, highest light. It's equal. It's not maybe. It's not sort of. It's exact. So I shared, and I'm going to share it again. Again, please take it in a little bit balanced way to understand it and allow it to be revealed. And I shared it last week before, but I want to share it more and more. When each one of us experiencing such an amazing moment, unbelievable miracle, or let's say a deal you closed, or you saw a friend after 20 years randomly got into the elevator in your building, what would you say? How would you describe the moment? Can you express it even in your mind? It's going to be like a wow. It's going to be like, no words. If I tell me how was the meeting? So amazing. You're not going to have words. You're going to say 60 times amazing, incredible, beautiful, oh, amazing, incredible. 5 times, 6 times to describe that? Why? Very important. In a moment of light, in a moment of revelation, if you can describe it with words, it's not the light. It's simply not the light. Why? Because we need to understand when a moment of light is being revealed, we don't have the ability to digest it. We can't express a light moment. That's why we either scream, or we are like shouting, or we just repeating, the same word over and over, right? Or we're just smiling or laughing, whatever it is, no words. Now, I can tell you my expression when I saw the horrors 2-3 weeks ago. I had the same reaction. I still have the same reaction. screaming from the top of my lung. I don't even know how to describe this moment. But that's exactly what it means. It's a moment of light. Again, don't blame a creator or God or something, but to understand it's a moment that is the depth of negativity for us to spring to the highest of humanity. From this horror, from this Holocaust in front of our eyes that the entire world is experiencing right now, and it's just the beginning, right? You have to understand, it's depending on the people who are a little bit of Kabbalah wisdom to bring that consciousness to the world. Again, I know we are a few people here and few people there. And some people are like, I don't care. I care that it can be 10, 20 people together in the same mind, going out there and really stick to the consciousness, stick to that mission of where we at in the world right now, and create a conversation and create a movement of change and bring unity amongst us wherever you are. It's dependent on how much light we're going to reveal as a test for us. Remember the test? When do we get a test? When we're in our highest? When we're in the most exciting moment? No, when you're in the lowest of the lowest in the world right now, is the biggest test for humanity. How are you going to show up every day? It's actually even said, the Kabbalists indicate that in moments like that, please have once a day or few times a day some laughter. Very important. Some laughter, not on the situation, of course, but get yourself some joy in the times like that. Who can think like that? Yes, it removes the judgment from the situation, from the world. From the world. So again, remember, we've seen this daughters of Lot doing something so terrible, but is the seed level of Messiah that will actually reveal to us in our time right now, in this day. The last thing that I'll share, I can't stop, right? This is, each one of them is crazy. You know what Abraham did? And again, this is something that the world is struggle right now. And again, I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no, I'm not saying choose a side and all of that, but I'm saying just to know that has been the reading of this week. Sodom, that place, I don't want to share what people did over there. Okay? Horrors, no. The Creator comes to Abraham and says, take Lot, your brother-in-law, whatever he is, uncle, and leave those places because I'm about to destroy. Come Abraham and says, no, don't destroy the city. Maybe there's 50 righteous people there. 50 amongst the thousands and the millions, right? And he says, no. He says, I'm going to destroy it. What if there is 40? What if there's 30? Well, yeah, no. What if just me? He says, you have to leave the place because the decree already happened. And complete destruction. Gofrit v'melach, right? Sulfur, they call it sulfur, burning, fire. Coincident, right? That the city, right, is right now what's going on in Gaza. We, each one of us, need to feel that there's probably, again, for those of us, I don't know how many, but there's probably people that are innocent there. Probably, right? I mean, I can't believe, right? But once the decree is on, we just need to pray. Because the decree was released. And again, it's not Israel released it, because it's cosmic. If that's happened cosmically, something about the outrageous negativity in that area, the land cannot sustain. And that needs to change. It's nothing to do with these people or those people or Israelis or Jewish people. No, please understand. The land of Sodom and Gomorrah right, could not handle that amount of negativity, that it has to be removed and rebuilt. But we need to pray so hard, like Abraham did. At least Abraham did. You know what? I'm sure there are 50 righteous people, clean people there. Let's pray for them. Let's pray for them. For that 50 people. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying that's in the Torah. 50. But if not 40, there's not 50 people. There's 40. But there's one person. Let's pray for them. You understand? Again, just to meditate that if there is, and we don't know, if the land decide bring on fire, that's what happened cosmically, my dear. It's not a nation who starts. Nothing happened without the Creator's approval. It's not like somebody has to say, God, should we destroy it? No. It's like what happened in Israel, the same thing. Same thing. And I shared it last week and the weeks before. You are, again, by the way, it's not just Israel, but Israel is a core energy everywhere. Everywhere. Imagine you living in a house and all day long there's fights. You think, let's say, for example, you grew up in a household that your parents, God forbid, I hope not, fighting like crazy every day. Are you hurt, yes or no? All of you. But I didn't fight. Just being there. Just being there. Even the neighbors like, oh man, all day long. I want to move away from these people. Right? Think about it. You doing it. You think it doesn't happen automatically? We don't know our power as human beings. Our power is influencing everything around us. So it's important to understand that. And please, because we know we all have it individually in our house, it's also happening in Gaza, in East. What Gaza, Israel? It's just land. So, I'm just thinking about these two places. It's the same region. It's the same thing. Even there's a clear instruction of in the Bible how it looked like in the Torah. So that land, very important. If it's happening there, it can happen everywhere. So please awaken, at least in your house, in your circle, with your people, that idea that, okay, we're not talking about specifically about terror, but we speak about again, at least to meditate and to pray for there is a one righteous person there. Please save him. Please, light. Make sure he's going to be in the south of Gaza, okay? Do something. We have to think about these things as it's being destroyed. And the last thing, you also must now again, it came to me. It's the wife of Lot. The wife of Lot, he asked them, the angels, there's two angels came. By the way, on the side, when it's written that Abraham had 3 people come to him, it says 3 people. But when they came to Lot, it says Shnei Malachim, 2 angels came to him. Because Lot was so low that if it would be people, he would think it's people. He wouldn't be sharing like that. But when he saw angels, he ran to them, he helped them, he did the same thing as Abraham because he saw angels, right? So the angels told him instruction. Take your kids, take your wife, take all your workers, take all your money, take everything. Get out of here and keep walking. And he says the word, don't look back. Don't look back. And of course, his wife looked back. I forgot the diamonds. I forgot my ring. Boom, she turned into salt. Now, what is the message? Do you remember who is the wife of Lot? Who is the wife of Lot? You forgot, huh? 2 seconds ago, I showed with you. When we're speaking about the wife or the woman in a story, what are we talking about? Us, our vessel. Our vessel, part of it. It's not her. She's like so materialized. No. She looked back like all of us. You know, we would look back. What do you mean looking back? How many of you still looking back? Oh, the relationship that I had, I never gonna get back. We're never gonna come back, right? Oh, the business, oh, the money that we used to do, oh, the success we used to have, or the apartment that I used to fit, right? All of us looking, using our vessel. Move on. I want to give you a building. You want to look into your apartment? I want to give you the soulmate. You're looking at somebody who put you down. Yeah, it wasn't all bad. Right? It's so easy when things not happening because our vessel is in the eyes to back, not eyes forward. That's what's happening. All the business that we had, that deal was amazing. It's never gonna come back. That's how people live life. That's the aspect of our vessel. It's not the wife of Lord. It's our vessel. Always push us to stay back. Don't move forward. Stay back. That's part of us. That's the wife of Lot. And that's why we are salty. We are bitter. We are not sweet all the time. We're not in love in things all the time. We are not, adding flavor. Salty. Yeah, you can use it to a steak. Put you on steak, right? Maybe you salt something so dense, but it's okay. Try to understand that in this week, we have the opportunity to sweetening who we are, sweetening the entire world, actually. And again, these are tools, these are messages that are important for us to awaken, to remember. I want last thing to say, and it's important for the recording. That's why, again, there's a deeper study that I did this week that are unbelievable, and maybe we can have a chance to read it. But in this week, something appeared in this week that it's come from Pirkei Avot. It's there's Kabbalah, but there's also Midrash, and there's also Mishnah, and also the Talmud, right? So in one of the chapters, it says something beautiful about this week and about the message. So I'm going to read for you first the English because that's the way they translate the biblical thing. But I want to go to how it's written in Hebrew and share with you what it means. Again, I want you to just pay attention to what it means, and also is the message of what we all can awaken in this world or in this time. He says this way: everything that God, the source and the substance of all, creates, the substance of all creates in the world, flows naturally from the essence of God's divine nature. Creation is not a choice, but necessity. It's God's nature to unfold time and space. Creation is an extension of God. Creation is God encounter in time and space. Creation is the infinite in garb of the finite, in the clothing of finite. To attend to creation is to attend to God. To attend to the moment is to attend to the eternity. To attend to the part is to attend to the whole. To attend to reality is to live constructively. So I want to, again, in one hand, I'm sure all of you get something out of it, but the message for all of us is, first of all, to understand, again, when it's written in Hebrew, you can give it a little bit deeper spin when I'm reading it in Hebrew. I like the English for the American point of us, but definitely the part that is written in the Torah is so strong. And he says, everything here is the creator. Everything. Every speck, every moment, every interaction is the creator. You need to have it at least in your mind. I don't see it. I'm not buying into it. I don't know what it is. Don't go there. Just tell yourself. Start there. Everything is the creator. And he says, it creates everything. And everything, when you go to nature, it's so easy for people to say, oh, look at that. This is God. This is the creator. This is the creation. It's so easy. But when it comes down to here, argument with the Uber driver, I'm thinking that, oh, the guy give you this, that, right? Or the store didn't give you the refund. And like, oh, that's not God. These are evil companies, right? So please awaken that in the world that you live in the reality you live in. And then he says again, this is, I'm just going to skip, but he says, Habriya, he ensofit, the creation of the world is an endless creation. It's not an end. It's endless. Everything is endless. For example, that table, what happened to this table after many, 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 many years of use? What happened to that? 500 years, what? 5,000 years from now, right? It will be disintegrated, and rebuilt again, right? Like you learn in nature. Everything is infinite. But it seems like come to a finite way, because the table is just a table. But don't mistakenly think that something here is created in a finite end result. So even what we're experiencing in our time, it's meant to awaken the endless of all of us, of everything. And the second thing is, what does it mean when we're saying deal with the creation? What we do right now, this is what we're doing. We're dealing with the creation. This teaching is la'asok b'briya. This teaching and other deeper study of Kabbalah, but a lot of the study of Kabbalah speaks about the depth of creation. And when you deal with your creation, it means you're taking care of the Creator. Me taking care of the Creator, yes, by dealing with the creation. And also to be busy in creating. Like I shared many times, and my friend Iran is also like to create an art, right? You like to do art, right? Well, how do you feel when you do art? Terrible? Horrible? I feel more inspired. I feel focused. I feel I'm like there, right? Because you activated the creator within you. Every time a person doesn't create and being busy in creating things, create a group, create a friendship, create a class, create something that is bringing people together in life, you're taking care of the creator. And again, when he says to attend, in Hebrew, he says the word lid'og, to take care of, to be in care. So when you care of the moment, lid'og larega, when you take care of the moment, it means you're taking care of eternity. You are not caring for the moment. Make sure that when I'm doing like something in the moment and I'm taking care of it, make sure it's the most important thing, because that will remain for eternity. Most of us are doing something and our mind is something else, no? Meaning you don't take care of the moment. When you have a moment right now with us, where is your mind? When you have a moment with your friend later on, or when you have a moment in whatever it is, take care of that moment, focus on that. You take care of eternity. You take care of, he says, if you take care of the individual, when you take care of a friend of yours that is in trouble, when you take care of the micro, you take care of the collective. When you are engaged with one, let's say, for example, we are, as many people as we are right now here. It's a small group, but we're taking care of the entire world with the revelation of light that we have right now. You have to awaken that consciousness. And he says, and if you want to take care of the reality today, and this is the message, all of us wants to take care of this world, care for the world, care for our reality, live in a constructive way. What does it mean? Be a builder, not a destroyer. Be a builder. Build relationship. Build communication. Build a way, build a bridge between you and the other side. Otherwise, and I've seen people doing it. And it's beautiful when you see like Don't try to change the mind of everybody, but build a bridge that when they want to cross, they will have a way. Take care of this. Anyway, there's plenty more for this week, but I'm super excited. And again, it's not nothing is coincident. Everything that is in this portion is so geared and so directed to what's going on. It's almost like it's written for this time. So thank you for joining us. Please spread this, share it, and use it to your advantage.